Hi, I'm Kelsey from roughandtumblefarmhouse.com, and today we're going to test out some natural rooting hormones. So I'm constantly getting little snippets of plants from people's houses when I go visit as if I need more house plants, but it's a little bit of an addiction. And whenever I bring them home, I always find that I typically don't have rooting hormone on hand. And so I've used honey, I've used cinnamon, I've used nothing, I've used actual rooting hormone. And so I decided this year to test out all of those options and see what works the best. So what a rooting hormone is it is usually a powder or a liquid or a gel that you put on the cuttings of your plants. And plants naturally, they want to root anyway, but a rooting hormone just kind of stimulates it a little bit more. Plants have this hormone called auxins that are in them, and that is what stimulates them to put on roots. And so typically a rooting hormone is going to have a synthetic version of that. Now, honey and cinnamon, I don't know, I've done some research and I can't find out if they actually have auxins in them, or if it's just more so the fact that they have antibacterial and antifungal properties which help protect the cutting of that plant and really allow it to grow well and put on roots. So for this experiment, I used a plant called a wandering Jew, or also called an inch plant. And I chose this plant because it typically propagates really well. It's actually considered an invasive if it gets out of your house and into your garden. It really likes to go wild. And so I was hoping we'd get some really dramatic results with this. So the things that I tested are absolutely nothing. I tried out water. I then tried a mixture of honey and a little bit of water. I then did one that was cinnamon. I did one that's honey and cinnamon, and then I did one with a commercial rooting hormone called Root and Grow that you can just kind of buy over the counter. So I tried to keep this experiment as legitimate as I possibly could. I made sure the cuttings were all the same length. I took them all the same place, just above a leaf, and then I put them all in the exact same type of soil, in the exact same sort of pots, gave them the exact same amount of water, and kept them in the exact same place. So let's take a look and see how our roots look. Starting at the end here, this is one that I did absolutely nothing to. I didn't dip it in water, I didn't put a hormone on it, nothing. This one has some pretty decent root growth here on the bottom that you can see. It looks nice. Unfortunately, when I was taking it out, I went to clean the roots off in the water, or tried to, and the poor little thing snapped. But I see that since nothing absolutely worked fine, if I want to, I can just take this little snapped off bit and put it in the soil. So like I said, rooting hormone isn't completely necessary, but it does make a difference, as you'll see in a little bit. This plant over here is one that I just dipped it in a little bit of water before putting it in. I would say that it has, compared to this one, it has a little bit more root growth, but it still isn't anything compared to what we see in a little bit here as we move on down our study. Next, honey. Unfortunately, when I got to the plant, this must have happened a few days ago. I moved these outside and it must have snapped off in the wind or something. So I honestly cannot tell you how honey does by itself, which is such a bummer. I was hoping to see. So I can't give you any conclusive results on honey, even though that is a really popular option. The next one over, we have cinnamon, and this one, boy, it might be a tie for doing the best. This one, as you can see, let's just set cinnamon here next to where we did nothing, and look at the difference on roots that we have with the cinnamon plant versus not doing anything. So there is a lot of root growth on there. I'm really very impressed by how the cinnamon did. Then after the cinnamon, this is one where I combined honey and cinnamon just to see. So this one also has some pretty impressive root growth here as well. Unfortunately, like I said, these plants are kind of fragile, so I can't really rinse them off too well. But this one, unlike a lot of the other plants, puts some growth kind of up higher and then down low. But still, just the straight cinnamon, I think is the winner at this point. Then last but not least, this one is with rooting hormone. I would say this one is probably second to cinnamon. So this is with that commercial Root and Grow. So this one definitely has a lot of roots on there compared to some of the others. But again, next to just cinnamon, I think that this one probably still comes in second, even though there's quite a bit. So it is such a bummer that the honey plant broke off sometime in the last couple days, and I didn't even notice till I went to take it out of the pot. I really wanted to see how the honey did. But from this experiment, which of course is what, 2, 4, it's 6 plants, so it's not exactly a scientifically backed, researched, peer-reviewed experiment, but just from this little experiment here, I think hands down cinnamon did the best. And so to apply the cinnamon, if you want to use that as a natural rooting hormone, all I did was dip the tip of the cutting into a little bit of water and then just dipped it in a little dish of cinnamon so it was coated and popped it in the pot, and that was all I had to do. So, but again, like we saw, if you don't do anything at all, it's still going to root more likely than not, but otherwise cinnamon is a good option. And then our second best was definitely the rooting hormone. So hopefully this helps you with rooting your plant cuttings this year. I hope you enjoyed. Comment below if you have any other really great DIY or natural rooting hormone recipes. Appreciate if you like, subscribe, share. It all helps this channel just grow even more. We have 2 new blog posts on the blog every week and a new video here over on YouTube about farming, family food, and fortitude here at our Rough and Tumble farmhouse.